Okay, we're joined now by senior offensive lineman Kell Smalley. Kell will take questions from the group. If you'll please state your name and affiliation.
Hey, Kell, Eddie Olabode with KKOW Radio. How do you feel practices have been this week after the loss?
Practices have been pretty good. We've been real focused. I know the offensive line took a lot of personal blame for that, and we've really tried to come out and be a lot more physical and focused with our plays.
You look at playing Missouri Southern, their D-line is a strength of their team. What's important to you guys to have success on Saturday?
We have to be more physical than them. Our technique has to be perfect. We can't have any mental mistakes, and we just need to come out there and take it to them.
You still have a lot to play for at the conference and the playoffs. What do you expect out of this team when you guys take the field Saturday?
I expect us to do what we've been doing all season. We need to come out there and jump on them fast and be relentless. Don't let them get the best of us early.
What's it like, having not been in the playoffs for a couple of years now, to have a chance to control your own destiny for that? Can that affect the focus, or is that talked about much at all?
We don't talk about that at all right now. We just really want to focus on Southern, and then we'll focus on that Sunday.
Kell, Ryan Atkinson with Dolphin Globe. You mentioned it a second ago. Rivalry game like this, they want to snap that streak. How important is it to come out and play well early and not let them get any momentum and get that adrenaline going?
That's big because we're big rivalries, and we need to jump on them fast. You know, we need to let them know that it's over early. We can get the other guys in there and play some.
Hey, Kell, Greg Grizzolano with Team Kong. Why is the offensive line taking responsibility for the loss last week?
We just didn't feel like we were physical enough. I know me personally, I came out there on the first play and missed a block, and that could have been for 5 or 6 yards, you know. So we take a lot of blame for that. We could have moved the ball a lot better on them, and we didn't. So we're upset about that, but that's over now, and we're focusing on Southern.
So what are you guys doing then in anticipation of this week's contest to make sure that doesn't happen again?
We've just been real focused in practice, you know, extra attention in film, and we've gone over plays with the coach a lot more, so we should be ready.
Do you see anything on film with Southern's D-line that you feel like you guys need to especially focus on?
The two inside guys are real big, they're real fast, so we gotta have good technique, and we gotta be more physical than them, and we'll take it to them.
All right, we're joined now by senior corner Elijah Olabode. Elijah will take questions from the group.
Hey, Elijah, Eddie Olabode with KKOW Radio. How do you feel practices have been this week after a loss?
Practice has been a lot better. We're moving faster, trying to get our swagger back after a tough loss last week. And I feel like we'll answer back pretty good this week, playing against Southern.
You look at this game with still a chance for a conference in the playoffs. Do you talk about those things, or is this just the next game?
This is the next game. We know what's riding on this game now. Winning conference would be big. We've been talking about this all year. And we talk about it, so we know what we have to do this weekend, and hopefully we'll show it to everybody else.
Is there any talk about a long winning streak over Southern, or is it just the next year to play?
We try not to get into that. You have to respect each opponent that comes in. So it doesn't matter how long we beat them. We know they're going to come in. They know that they're trying to play to take our conference championship away this weekend. So numbers just won't count this weekend. We just have to play and try to get another win.
Ryan Atkinson with Dolphin Globe. Now this offense isn't going to be as efficient, passing-wise as you saw last week. But they got Zirkle, they got Howard's, he's a good quarterback. So what do you have to do against them and against a guy like Zirkle specifically?
Just watching a lot of tendencies. They still have players that can make plays. Washburn's pretty good last week, but like I said, they're the next opponent, and you got to respect whoever comes on your field to play. So we're going to play them like everybody else and just play them hard and fast and try to get the win.
With it being a big rivalry game, defensive-wise, how big is it to not let that offense come out and get a lot of confidence?
Yeah, they're our rivals. We're going to play them real hard, this game we're just trying to bounce back real good, and Southern's the next opponent, rival, big game. It's just a lot riding on this game, and we're just going to try to show it this weekend.
Hey, Elijah, Greg Grizzolano with Team Kong. You mentioned the conference title's at stake. What would that mean for you personally? What would that mean for the team if you guys were able to
For the team, I know it'll be one goal we can mark down that we have set for this year. For me, this is something I've been waiting for, seeing past players I've known, seeing their rings, and friends that play at other schools show their rings. I know I'll be happy as a senior to know I won a conference champion my senior year and finally be able to show a ring to all my other friends.
We're joined now by Pitt State head football coach Tim Beck. Coach Beck will take questions from the group.
Coach Ryan Atkinson with the Drop and Globe. What's practice been like, and how the guys responded to the first loss?
Sunday, everybody was pretty quiet, pretty down, but Tuesday and Wednesday, our practice has been really good. Tuesday, they played practice very fast. We're very focused, very intent on what we're doing, and we were very happy with how Tuesday went.
Washburn had some success stopping the game, and Missouri Southern, probably their best part of their team is that defensive line. So what's the key in coming out and establishing the running game like you did in the second half last week?
Yeah, it'll be important for us to get the running game established. Yeah, you know, I think when you look back and you get 6 plays in the first quarter, and then the last 9 minutes of the game are kind of gone because we were forced to go into a Mayday situation and try to score quickly. But you know, when you take that away, it really takes away from the amount of plays you have. So you know, there's a few things that need to be tweaked, a few things that need to be taken care of, but hopefully we get those taken care of this week in practice, and you can bet we're going to try to run the football again this weekend.
Southern's obviously they're going to get up for the game. They've been close the last few years. How big is it to not let them hang around early and the rivalry game like that? The underdog, longer they hang around, like they always say, you know.
Yeah, it'd be nice for us to get off to a good start. That's the bottom line. Offensively, we would like to. In the games that we've had good success, you know, if the Central and Western, we get off to a decent start. Absolutely helps. You know, there's no doubt about that. But you know, I know we're going to get their best shot too. You know, I know that they're going to come in here and they have nothing to lose and nothing to worry about, and so, you know, we can expect to see a great effort by them.
Coach Beck, Eric Knapp from KSL. Overall, what are your impressions of the Missouri Southern defense?
Well, defensively, you know, it starts with their defensive line. You know, I feel like, you know, you have to be careful with what you do, because if you're just going to decide you're going to line up and try to double team Brandon Williams all day, that's not going to work very well, because the rest of our defensive linemen are awfully good as well. And he's very good, and the rest of them are pretty good. So you got to be smart about what you do. Their linebackers run to the ball well. They're fast in the secondary. And like I said before, they've proven they can play with anybody. And so, you know, we're very impressed with how they play defensively.
Coach Brock from Morgan Center. I know we talked about the Truman win earlier in the season being a character builder.
Yeah.
Do you kind of think of the loss of Washburn as being this sort of the same thing?
Well, some people like to say that, you know. Somebody say, you know, some people have said, well, you'll get refocused and this and that. Well, we were focused last week. We got beat last week. You know, Washburn was a better team that day, and so, you know, I think that, is there a burning desire to get that out of our mouth? Yeah, absolutely. And so I think that, you know, we still feel like we have an awfully good football team. We're still in a position where we're playing for a lot. We got a chance to play for a tie of a conference championship, and so, you know, there's a lot on the line for Pittsburgh State.
What concerns you most about Southern?
Well, both sides of the ball. I mean, they, you know, again, defensively, we've talked about kind of things that they can do, and offensively, you know, you've got to find a way to slow Zirkle down, and you got to try to keep Colin in the pocket and not let him break the pocket and run all over the place. So, you know, they do some things offensively with formations and some of the different things that they do that really can cause you some problems. So you really have to be smart about your alignments defensively and what you're doing against some of the things that they do. And then they bring in Kyle Webster, and he's kind of like a wildcat type quarterback. He's very fast, very good athlete, so you have to be careful when he's in the game as well.
How's Chaz Smith?
Chaz is much better, and you know, he's practiced all week, and I think you can probably expect to see him this weekend.
Coach Greg Grizzolano with Team Con, you know, you mentioned the piece of the conference title at stake. What would that mean for Pitt State to get a share of that crown this season?
Well, it would be huge. You know, last time we won one was 2004. You know, to go from where we were last year at the end of the season, 5-6, and then being fortunate enough to get into the bowl and finishing 6-6, and you know, going from that point to having an opportunity to win a conference championship would be a huge thing for Pittsburgh State. It would be would obviously show that how good a job our seniors have done with the leadership that they have given us, and so, you know, it's a big deal, and you know, our players are really excited about the opportunity.
You know, Coach, a lot of people, fans, have talked about, you know, this is the year that Pitt State is back. Do you think that conference title says that about the program, that it's back, or do you feel like the program never really left?
Well, I think that we will, you know, we'd like to say at the end of the year that we've definitely improved over last year. And you know, we've got a ways to go yet. There's a lot of room for improvement, but as far as our program and where we want to be, we're definitely much more improved from last year. You know, we just play so much better as a team. We play much faster, and you know, it's another building block for our program, and we want to be able to, you know, have an opportunity to be there at the end every year. And so, you know, the other thing that people got to remember is every year your team is so much different than the year before, and that's why the other thing I think it was so impressive that Northwest Missouri was able to win so many games for so long, because you're looking at Pittsburgh State, Missouri Western, and Central Missouri, and Washburn, and you know, having to go play Missouri Southern, one of your former coaches, and it was impressive for them to be able to do that in this conference, because I think that you will find out. I mean, our conference is as good as any in America, and it's tough to win week in and week out.